Hey, this is Ed, and this is my first ever YouTube video for the old camper van. I like to call her Camper Van 1.0. I hope to learn from it, and maybe the next one will be a little better. She started life as a 2002 Ford E250. As you can see, she's a high top. She was a transportation van, so she's been fleet maintained. She has high mileage, but the engine and transmission were both worked at some point, so hopefully she'll provide a reliable platform for me. She did have a handicap ramp, but that was removed previous to me buying it, so it's got a nice accent. So I'm going to show you what I did. Again, I learned a lot from YouTube myself, watching a lot of videos. Some things I'd already like to change, some things I like, but I'd appreciate your comments, what you like and even what you don't like. I got big shoulders, I can handle the negative comments too, but to say, hey dude, why'd you do it that way? Because hopefully I learned and the next one gets even better. So why don't you come on board and I'll show you what I did. The front of it is pretty much, and my daughter's the camera woman, so if the camera angles don't look bad, you can comment. It's her fault, not mine. But the front pretty much stayed stock. Again, if you look in the front this way, you can see, and you'll get to see them from the inside as well. But I have privacy curtains here so that, again, when we're parked, no one can really see in. I'm kind of going in between, some people call them stealth vans. I don't necessarily plan on hanging out in Walmart parking lots or things like that, but there might be times where I need to. So this kind of looks in between, I think, kind of a stealth camper van, and hey, we know what's going on in there. If you look here, I have let's see, how does it say? Reflectix, I think it's called. I have it on the outside. And then if you look at these windows here, I actually put, it's actually blackout tinting that I put to the inside. It does let some light in from the inside, but even with the lights on, you can't see in. So I went ahead and done that. So that blocks a lot of the light as well. So let's go ahead and open her up and see what we got here. This is my fancy rig here to hold the door open. Not much, but it works. I do have a set of steps, so we actually have 4 little dogs, and so they can get up if they are going to travel with us. Also makes it easier for my old bones to work as well. So we have a set of steps so we can get up. So just a few things to point out before we go up inside is, again, we have the curtains. I have them on a Velcro, so I use little Velcro strips, and I went ahead and hooked those up so I can open them when I'm driving, or I can leave them closed when we're parked, or even if I just want to when I'm driving. So one of the first things that I did was to go ahead and put, this is just a real cheap vinyl. It locks together, but it also has some glue on it. So I went ahead and put that down, just put this rug over it. I did only put this in the front. If you look underneath here, it's kind of the rubberized floor. The good thing is that, again, it was already insulated. I think it had like 1/4 sheet of plywood under it as well. So this has about a 1/4 sheet of plywood underneath before the flooring on top of the regular insulation that was there. So again, all that should help to keep it from getting too hot, too cold, what have you. So we step up, and the first thing I'll point out, and you'll probably notice right away if you look up at the ceiling here, this was actually the stock shell that came with it. However, it has been insulated on the inside, so instead of pulling that all out and then doing the wood, which maybe Camper Van 2.0 would have, since this already had a nice shell like this, we went ahead and left it for simplicity. We put blackout curtains again, and when I move the blackout curtains, you can see on the outside it does have some Reflectix. I'm going to mess that up every time I say it, but it has a reflecting material, and that way during the day we can take it down if we want, if we do want sunlight. If not, if we just want to keep the heat out. But the curtains are blackout, and again, I got them Velcroed, and they'll keep the light out and keep prying eyes out as well. This is kind of my pride and joy. Gab, if you can get a close-up of this. This was actually, I made this countertop, and what I actually did was burnt the wood first, and then I did an indigo stain on it. So I'm really proud the way it turned out. Also, my sink here, I actually made that. That was a just a stainless steel bowl that I went ahead and cut and put the drain. And then I have the RV style, just a hand pump, so it'll give me some water. If you look underneath here, I have, this is my wastewater tank, so everything will go down for my gray water. And then I have a tube right here, and this will actually go into my fresh water. I don't have that in right now, but I can load it in. And it's just like this, but I also found that I can go ahead and use, even if I am traveling and I run into a Walmart, they sell those 3-gallon things, or a gallon jug, even if I need to, because whatever I put in this, then I am able to go ahead and pump it up. But I do have one just like this that I keep clean and that I keep inside. Over here on this side, I added just a little bit of storage. I don't have her fully stocked right now. This is my little butane stove that we're going to use when we're camping. And then if you turn around here, you can see the nice bed. So I'm a big guy. I'm about 6'3", and my wife's about 5'9", 5'10". So we wanted a lot of room. So this is actually a full-size queen bed we were able to get in here. I always got to give a shout out to my Afghans and my handmade blankets. I just love them. So whenever I see them at a flea market or yard sale, I have to pick them up. So decided that would go with it. Still got a little decorating to do. But again, this is a queen size, and what I bought was it's about a 5-inch. It's a foam, memory foam and gel combined. So it's very comfortable. So even with 2 people on it, it's very nice. And again, it didn't add too much height. If you notice how I'm sitting here, I'm close to the top, but my head isn't hitting. So again, I wanted as much storage space underneath, so we can sleep in here comfortably. We can sit up if we want to. And again, if you look at the windows now here, you can see it kind of looks like a frost. Again, the nice thing about this is it doesn't leave a residue. Every one of these windows were tinted, and that was a whole other story of removing those. So if you want any tips and tricks on how to remove tinting, I came across some good stuff again on the old interweb here, and was able to get them out without too much trouble. But we did that. If you look all the way, and we're going to go around the back, you'll see that in a minute. But again, we have the blackout curtains that are back there. And again, I got to give a shout out. Go Eagles! Got my Eagle bird over there. And one more thing I'm going to point out here. I'm going to have Gabby back out just for a minute here. And so what I did is, this van can run on shore power. So basically, I didn't put an inverter in or anything, but what I did was basically an extension cord. So if I do pull up to a state park, something like that has electricity, at least I can plug in. It can run everything that I got, a fan, things like that. But I wanted my lighting, I wanted to have lighting if I wanted to be off the grid. So what I did is I actually installed LED. So I don't know if my daughter will be able to get a good picture, but I put LED lighting all up around. It's just copper wire, little LED buttons. And so I'm able to control it just with the remote. It's got little functions if I want it to be strobing. If it's disco night in the camper van, I can do that. And then all they do is take a couple AA batteries, so it's easy to replace. So I went ahead and did that, and again, it's just a remote that I can leave by the door. And if you look up here, it just runs on these little these little packs I got Velcroed up, but that's what runs the lights. And again, just with a button, I'm able to turn different sets on or off depending on how much lighting I want. Also have like a little battery operated light if we need a little more, but that surprisingly gives a lot of light. Let's walk around to the back side here. So again, with the back side, hopefully you can hear me. So some noise in the background, but again, the Reflectix material, I think that's how you say it. Once again, I put them in the back again to keep the sun from beating in, also keep prying eyes out a little better. What I did here was, again, we went ahead and put the blackout curtains here, a little Velcro to keep them nice and snug. This panel was already here. Again, that's just right the way that it came when I got it. Insulation is behind it. This was just a real quick way. I'm going to cut this in a little better. But Gab, if you can get a nice shot down here, so that you can see it goes all the way through. And this gives me about 18 inches to 20 inches of height inside. So I have a lot of room to store things. Actually, my kayaks will actually fit one on each side if I wanted to take them with me, but it gives me a lot of room. Again, if we're out camping and I want to have this open, we could just have this open, sleep like this. I got a little canopy some people travel with. So she's got a little bit more work to do, but really pleased with the way it turned out. Built the bed nice and sturdy. Again, if you need any tips or tricks on that, hit me up. I don't have a formal plan that I drew. I kind of sketched it with a pen, but I did some trial and error. And again, I have some birch plywood on top that makes it nice and smooth. One thing that I did learn is, I don't know if you can see, is I did drill holes throughout the plywood so it'll breathe, so this doesn't get too hot and sweaty underneath, wide part. The only thing I really did cosmetically is I kind of put these fancy racing stripes. This is actually it actually had like the wording from the company and things like that, so I kind of like the black mean look. I'm also a fan of stickers, so eventually there'll probably be a lot of stickers on it as well. So we haven't got to take this out yet. I'm going to be taking it out in about a week or two. I'll probably post an update, the things I learned, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think of it, maybe suggestions that you have. The camper van community is kind of a close-knit group, I find, in a lot of good examples, and I appreciate it all. If not, I wouldn't have probably been able to get this done. It took us about 5 or 6 weeks, working a few hours here and there. We're really pleased with the way it turned out, and we're looking forward to get going. So again, if you like it, like my video. Please, any comments, again, good or bad, I got heavy shoulders. I can take it all. Just subscribe, I guess that means you follow, so you'll get my other ones, because I am going to make modifications to this. Down the road, we'll probably put a vent, maybe some solar power. We'll see, or maybe that'll happen in Camper Van 2.0. So be sure to subscribe, as my daughter says. Thanks for watching.